כמו העץ, האדם נגדע, ואני לא יודע איפה הייתי ואיפה אהיה, כמו עץ השדה. כי האדם עץ השדה, כמו העץ הוא שואף למעלה, כמו האדם הוא נשרף באש, ואני לא יודע איפה הייתי ואיפה אהיה, כמו עץ השדה. אהבתי וגם שנאתי, טעמתי מזה ומזה, קברו אותי בחלקה של עפר, ומר לי בפה, כמו עץ השדה, כמו עץ השדה.
Shabbat Shalom. We're introducing a different tone this evening. It's raining and a little bit of a flash of lightning and a bit of thunder. And there's a song that I just shared a little bit, a song that comes from a very well-known, gentle and soft-spoken Israeli performer. Her name is Nurit Galron, and she writes a poem which sets to music. And it's striking because it corresponds to a phrase in this week's Torah reading. And the phrase reads as follows: if you're in battle and you chance upon an area and you're going to start attacking a city, preserve the fruit trees. Is a fruit tree a person to be cut down? And of course that begs a monumental question. If you and I are intended in the fullness of our energies to destroy each other, what does it mean to leave a fruit tree alone? Can we learn from our desire to protect fruit trees and extend the message to protect people? And that's the phrase in tomorrow's Torah reading. And Nurit Galron takes hold of this and writes a modern song, and she calls out, I have loved, and I have lost, and I have hated, I have been thirsty. People and trees have so much in common. Our feet are rooted in the earth, and we all reach forward and aspire to the heavens. And I wonder if Nurit Galron, this modern Israeli singer, is teaching us to pay attention to the messages in the Torah and to peer deeply into the Torah. Lightning is flashing. Perhaps you're the thunder. And you and I, as Jews, embrace the beauty of nature. And when we hear thunder, we say, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shekocho v'gevurato malei olam. Blessed are you, Lord our God, sovereign of the universe, whose power and might fills the universe. And then lightning just flashed, and we say, Oseh ma'aseh reshit. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Oseh ma'aseh reshit. Blessed are you, Lord our God, sovereign of the universe, who brings forth the acts of creation into reality. We embrace nature and we appreciate the beauty of the world. And may we learn a lesson, both from the Torah reading and this modern take on it through Nurit Galron, this modern song we just played, to appreciate all life. We begin with the Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlochim, HaKadosh, Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon, mi melech, malachei amlochim, hakadosh baruch hu. Baruch hu ni l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon, mi melech malachei hamlochim hakadosh baruch hu. Tzedchem l'shalom malachei hashalom malachei elyon, mi melech malachei hamlochim hakadosh baruch hu. And before we turn to L'chuna Ranana and the Psalms, which comprise the early part of the Friday evening service, a song from Craig Talman, Biyado, which literally means, I place my soul, my spirit, in the hand of God for safety and security, for caregiving. Biyado Afkid.
My soul I give to you, my spirit in your care. Draw me near, I shall not fear. Hold me in your hand. I shall not fear, safely in your hands. My soul I give to you, my spirit in your hand. Draw me near, I shall not fear. Hold me in your hand. I shall not fear. Adonai
And because we are in the season approaching Rosh Hashanah, as I mentioned recently, we have a new psalm, Psalm 27. And again, Craig takes one sentence out of Psalm 27 and puts it to a very upbeat melody. It's Adonai Ori v'yishi mimi ira. Adonai Ori, God is my light, v'yishi, my help. Adonai Ori v'yishi, God is my light and my help. Mimi ira, of whom shall I be afraid? With God on your side, there's no reason to fear. And now, a bit of Psalm 27, Craig Talman, Adonai Ori.
Adonai hori vishi mimi ira. Adonai hori vishi mimi ira. Adonai ma'oz chayai mimi efchad. Adonai hori. Adonai hori vishi mimi ira. Adonai hori vishi mimi ira. Adonai ma'oz chayai mimi efchad. Adonai Ori. Adonai Ori. Ori veishi. Mimi ira. Mimi ira. Adonai Ori vishi. Mimi ira. Adonai Ori vishi mimi ira. Adonai ma'oz chayai mimi efchad. Adonai Ori. Adonai Ori. Ori veishi. Mimi ira. Mimi ira.
L'chuna Ranana, the beginning of the more official part of the service, you might say, on page 11 if you have the Siddur. L'chuna Ranana, Ranana, Ladonai Naria, Naria, Letzu Yishenu. L'chuna Ranana, Ranana, Ladonai Naria, Naria, Letzu Yishenu. Nekan mafanav, Nekan mafanav, Nekan mafanav betoda. Bizmirot, Bizmirot, Naria lo, Bizmirot, Bizmirot, Naria lo, Bizmirot, Bizmirot, Naria lo, Bizmirot, Bizmirot, Naria lo. And the main theme of this psalm, which is a poem from 3,000 years ago, is, come on, let's all sing together. Let us go and sing to Adonai. Let us trumpet praise to our protector. Filled with thanks, let us greet God, raising our voice in song. Great is Adonai, a greater sovereign than all other deities. God's hands formed the earth's deep. Mountain crests too are God's work. The sea is God's, for God made it. Dry land was fashioned by God's hands. Come then, let us bow and kneel. Let us bend our knees in the presence of Adonai, who formed us. Turning now to page number 21, page 21 if you have the Siddur, another psalm this evening. Mizmor leDavid, Havul Adonai b'nei Elim, Havul Adonai kavod va'oz, Havul Adonai kavod shemo, Hishtachavu Adonai behadrat kodesh. Kol Adonai al hamoyim el kavod hirim Adonai al mayim rabim. Kol Adonai ba'koach, Kol Adonai behadar, Kol Adonai shaber arzim, Vaishaber Adonai et arz de halvanon, Vayarkidem kamo egel Lebanon v'Siryon, kamo v'nreimim. Kol Adonai chotzei lavot esh, Kol Adonai yachil midbar, Yachil Adonai midbar kadesh, Kol Adonai yecholel ayalot, Vayechesof Ye'arot, Uvahechalo kulo omer kavod, Adonai lamabul yashav, Vayeshev Adonai melech leolam, Adonai oz liyamo yitain, Adonai yavarech et amo vashalom. And on page 23, the first two stanzas, page 25, the last two stanzas of L'chadodi. L'chadodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. L'chadodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Hishmiyanu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad, Ushemo echad, L'shem ol tiferet v'litila. L'chadodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. L'chadodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechuven elcha, ki mekor habaracha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshavat tchila. L'chadodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. L'chadodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Yamin usma tifrotzi, v'et Adonai ta'aritzi, al yarish ben partzi, v'nismecha v'nagila. L'chadodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. L'chadodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekab. We rise, Bowie. Bowie v'shalom ateret b'Allah, gam b'simcha u'v'tzahala, toch emunei am sgula, Bowie chala, Bowie chala. L'chadodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. L'chadodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. And as we're seated, in a moment we'll be turning to the Psalm for Shabbat, but a different melody tonight. This comes to us from a group of high school seniors some years ago. Perhaps it's now 15 years ago. They made a CD. The name of the group is Nativ. It's U.S. Wires when they were in Israel, perhaps 15 years ago. And they're singing about the importance of pausing and saying thank you. And of course, in our daily lives, we need to say thank you to one another. And as Shabbat is descending upon us, pause and offer words of gratitude to God.
Mizmor shir le'yom haShabbat.
Ulezamer, ulezamer, l'shimcha el
How will our days be different if every morning we start with the word of thank you? How will our nights be altered when, as we move into darkness, we pause and we reflect and we say we are grateful? And that's what this song was all about, and that's what Shabbat is all about, for us to pause. Concluding on page 28, a testimony from the Siddur that you and I, as righteous people, are indispensable to our world. Tzadik katamar yifrach keres balbanon yiska shetulim beveit Adonai bechatrot Eloheinu yafrichu O Yenuvan Beseva Deshenim Verananim Yiyol Hagid Ki Ashar Adonai Tzuri V'lo Avatabo. We rise now, the Borchu, page 39a. Baruchu et Adonai Amavorach. And you say, Baruch Adonai Baruch Leolam Voed. And I repeat, Baruch Adonai Baruch Leolam Voed. As we're seated, reminder that this bracha speaks of the beauty of day and night and light and dark enfolded within the other. And this is a new modern take by Rabbi Sherwin. Ma'ariv Aravim.
Blessed is the Spirit who guides us all. Blessed is the one who makes the evening fall. Blessed is the Spirit who guides us all. Baruch atah Adonai ha-Mahariv Haravim. Baruch atah Adonai ha-Mahariv Haravim. Shekhinah, Shekhinah, Shekhinah.
On page 40. Page 40. Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Havta Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu limadita Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shachveinu v'kumeinu nasiach b'chukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha u'v'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed ki em chayenu ve'orech yameinu ve'orech yameinu u'v'hem negei yomam v'layla v'yavotecha al tasir mimenu le'olamim Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. Page 41. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Ve'avta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayo hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha yom al levavecha Vishinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha v'derech u'v'shachbecha v'kumecha u'kishartam la'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha u'ktavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'v'sharecha. A moment of silence, considering page 42. Adonai Elohechem emet. On page 44. Bichamocha poelim Adonai mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh norati lot osefele Malchutecha ra'ovanecha bokeh yam lifnei Moshe zeli anu v'yamro Adonai yimloch le'olam v'ed v'ne'emar כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל Yisrael. In a moment, the Hashkivenu on page number 45, and you've learned from me now that the word Hashkivenu is a command offered by people to God. We're commending God to literally place us in our beds this evening in a sense of peace and calm and serenity. And every single day lately, the world has become more rocky and more turbulent. Thinking of Haiti and the loss with earthquake and tropical storm and the plight of so many innocents who cannot even be counted in Afghanistan and elsewhere and throughout the world. And of course, COVID is ever in front of us. And at home, being in a community wherein there are no ICU beds and no ambulances. And you can easily ask, Rabbi, what does it mean to say Hashkivenu? And my response is, who would we be if we did not say Hashkivenu? We must redouble our efforts. And everyone together must call out the Hashkivenu. How would we be as people if we did not pray that there would be a sense of calm and ease from sorrow and anxiety? Hashkivenu Adonai, our God, to sleep peacefully. Awaken us to life, O Sovereign. Spread over all of us your canopy of peace. Restore all of us with your good counsel, and save all of us for the sake of your name. Shield all of us. Remove from all of us enemies, pestilence, sword, starvation, and sorrow. Remove the evil forces that surround all of us. Shelter all of us in the shadow of your wings, for you, God, watch over and deliver all of us. And you, God, are sovereign, merciful, and compassionate. Ensure our going and coming for life and peace now and forever. May you spread over all of us your canopy of peace. Ushmor tzeitenu v'oleinu l'chaim u'l'shalom etaver olam. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, baruch ata Adonai, haporei sukat shlom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim, v'shamru.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפל, שבת ויהי נפל, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבו, אמן. בעמוד דברכת מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב במהרה, אמן. יהי שמי רבו מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה, יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה ברכו לעילם מקור ברכתה ושירתה תשבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמה במהרה, amen. We are invited to rise, unless there may be a difficulty, and offer a few moments of silent prayer. The traditional text, page 47 through page 52, or a few moments of silent meditation, silent prayer, and perhaps at this point, you will pray for a stranger. You will pray for someone whom you will never meet. A few moments of silence. In a moment, we'll be making kiddush and hamotzi, and perhaps you have a glass of wine prepared and a bit of bread, and we'll hamotzi together. And at the end of the service, it's a little light right now. We'll light candles near the end. Perhaps you'll join us lighting candles. For now, if you have the Siddur, kiddush is found on page number 55. Baruch atah Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshana b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'yava uv'ratzon inchilanu zikaron l'maseh b'reshit ki hu yom techila l'mikra'ei kodesh zecher l'tziat mitzroyim ki vanu v'acharta V'yotanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha b'yahava v'ratzon hinchaltanu baruch atah Adonai mikadesh ha'shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. And if you're standing, you're invited to have a seat. I have a thought to share with you before the Aleinu. We're again back in Shul, and thank you to Gadiel for organizing the live stream. And for me, the greatest challenge is not seeing people in person, as we all, I think, can agree. And the second challenge is that we come to Shul and we don't have aliyahs to the Torah. And reading Torah is how we all began as a synagogue 2,400 years ago. So we take the Torah out on Shabbos morning and I read a small excerpt and make a comment. And it occurs to me that I haven't talked with you in quite a while about why Torah is important and why we Jews hold on to Torah so. And if you ask 3 Jews what Torah is, you're going to get 4 or 5 opinions, and I have many different responses. But tonight I say that for me and for all of us, Torah is the conversation that we share between ourselves and God, between ourselves and our ancestors, and every single one of us is a link in the chain that undergirds and strengthens and helps to transmit that conversation. But Torah is not a fad, and Torah is not interested in being politically correct. Torah has a goal, and the goal is to infuse sanctity in every single life, in every single daily action, in routine behaviors, and also in those once in a while extraordinary experiences. Sanctity and holiness, not a fad, not politically correct. So in the ancient days, when there wasn't a grocery store and you went walking out and you happened to chance upon a nest with eggs, the Torah demanded that if you want those eggs, because you can't go to the grocery store and buy eggs and you need an omelet, you have to chase away the mama bird so that she not see you as you take the eggs and then walk and can continue on your way. Now there's an element of safeguarding the mama bird's feelings, which is laudatory, but you and I know that as soon as we leave and the mama bird comes back, she's going to see an empty nest, and she will still be distressed and heartbroken, or however birds respond to the loss of their young. So what does it mean for people who are walking along to take eggs and to shoo them away the mother bird? It means that within the imperfection of human desire and greed, because I want to make an omelet, I have to recognize that I share the world with animals, and I modulate my behavior just a little bit. If the Torah was completely against all forms of animal cruelty, there'd be no mention of the dozens upon dozens of ceremonial acts of animal sacrifice in some of Exodus, most of Leviticus, and much of the book of Numbers. So it's not to eliminate animal cruelty, which of course is a very popular notion that many of us espouse. It's to introduce the idea of holiness in your daily behavior. And if you interact with your fellow man and you make a promise, also found in tomorrow's Torah reading, you have to abide by your promise, even if you don't like a specific person. It's a routine behavior. Paying your bills on time is a demand by God, because our Torah is a conversation between us and the creator of the universe through 3,800 years of history. Family upon family, generation upon generation, every one of us a link in the chain of bringing dignity and honor and righteousness into the ordinary, but also the extraordinary, the occasional and the rare. Picture in your own mind a young couple, and they're excited because they're engaged and they're starting to make some plans, and they're going to make a life together, and they are coming ever closer, we hope, psychologically and emotionally, mentally, and the machatanim, the two sets of in-laws, are starting to get closer and closer. And then as time goes by, expectations and hopes and presumptions begin to fall away. And what had been hoped for as a relationship begins to deteriorate. And nobody knows what goes on behind closed doors, but there's animosity, and there's tension, and there's conflict. And all of a sudden, those two individuals and the extended family are becoming more and more hostile. And how do we respond? And that's in Torah. And again, a special, and it should never happen, rare case, when parents give their all to their child, and he grows up and he becomes a truant and then a juvenile delinquent, and the parents have tried tough love and every possible recourse, and they finally go to the judges of the community and they say, we have no idea what to do. And the judges, the external authorities, get involved, because when a family is in distress and crisis, the contamination goes out and spreads and influences negatively and affects everyone in the community. And this too is in Torah. And our responses to the occasional, to the rare, or to the routine must be modulated through sanctity and reverence for life. And so when you ask, how do we as Jews set apart from one another, because we can't come back in this shul to read Torah, we have to remember that something as routine as paying a hired worker, keeping a promise, occasionally protecting the feelings of an animal, all bring an aspect of God and ultimate sanctity into our daily lives. And so too, the way that we address crisis within family and acquaintances, may they be rare and infrequent, also is an opportunity for us to bring sanctity, kedusha, into our lives. We must continue to remember these lessons, and hopefully at some point soon we'll come back together, and again we shall read Torah as a community. Please join me in the Aleinu. We rise. On page number 56. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kugoye haratzot, velo samanu kimishpachot adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, Umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlochim hakadosh baruch hu shehuno teshamayim v'yoster aretz umoshav yikaro b'shamayim mimal ushchinatuzo begavei meromim hu Eloheinu enod Emet Malkeinu, Efes Zulato, Kakatu B'Torato, V'yadata Yom, V'ashevota El Levavecha, Ki Adonai Hu Elohim, B'Shamayim Mimal, V'al Haaretz, Mitachat enod. Kakatu b'Toratecha, Adonai yimloch leolam voed, v'nemar, v'haya Adonai, lemelech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, yihyeh Adonai echad, Ushemo echad. And in a moment, the mourner's Kaddish. And if you are so inclined to remain standing for the mourner's Kaddish, you're invited to do so. On this Shabbat, we remember with great love Esther Blitz Siegel, Bessie Brown, David Plotka, Sarah Grodsky, Arthur Grodsky, Amelia Morningstar Loeb, Libby Ladizhensky, Bess Malkin, Pesha Rips, Ann Sussman, Pauline Marcus, Chaim Gert, Theodore Impastato, Gertrude Rips, Charles Weber, Mordechai Zarimba, Murray Muchnick, Louise Goldrich, Nancy Howell. And if you know of someone and you'd like to mention that name, please do so in your own home at this time. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabba. Amen. Be'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute b'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala uv'zaman karif v'yimeru. Amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevarach le'alam olalmei olmaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei dekudesha b'richu le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata da'amiran ba'alma v'yimeru. Amen. Yehi shalama rabba min shemaya v'chayim oleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimeru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom oleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimeru. Amen. May your words bring shalom and comfort to others, and may the words of others bring shalom and comfort to you. Tomorrow, Shabbos morning, And tomorrow night, Havdalah at 8. And next Saturday night, it's Slichas, believe it or not. We're getting ready for Rosh Hashanah. So a week from tomorrow, it's going to be 7:30. And we have Alabama Community Virtual Havdalah with Turia and Miriam and Chazan Charles and Cantor Neal and Yehuda, of course, and Rabbi Kramer and I. And we're hoping that you will join us for Havdalah tomorrow night at 8. And next week, next Saturday, a week from tomorrow at 7:30. Monday is Tanakh at noon, and Tuesday, Adult Hebrews at 3, and Tuesday, the Spirit series continues, the more spiritual discussion topic we have, and it's going to be Tuesday, the 24th. What is Slichot? Called the Office for Pascha. What is Slichas? What's it all about? Why do we do Slichas? And Thursday will be story time for the kids on Zoom, and that's about it for right now. We'll conclude with Oseh Shalom by Steve Dropkin, and hopefully you will have candles in place and you can join us in a moment. After Oseh Shalom, we'll be lighting candles, and we're welcoming Frida Maisel this evening to light candles with us. For now, we'll conclude with Oseh Shalom.
Oseh Shalom Bimrama, Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu, Behakol Vehakol Yisrael, Be'imeru Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimrama, Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu, Be'akol Ve'akol Yisrael, Be'imru Imeru Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimrama, Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu, Be'akol Ve'akol Yisrael, Be'imeru Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimrama, Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu, Be'akol Ve'akol Yisrael, Be'imru Imeru Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat.